everyone. I'm Senator Big Mike Fazy. I've been working hard for y'all for the last 4 years. And I want to thank all the retired teachers for all their support over the years. And I want to really appreciate y'all inviting me to come speak today. As a state senator, I am a product of our public school system. I spent 4 years at Houma Elementary, then 4 years at Southdown, and then my final 4 years at Terrebonne, graduating from Terrebonne High. So I am a product of our school system. Actually, my daughter is the principal of Mulberry School. So it's very important that she keeps me informed on what's going on. Being on the Finance Committee as your state senator, that committee is very strong in making sure the right things happen for y'all. And I can tell you for the last 4 years, I've done my best to make sure everything goes right for the retired teachers, because with all the teachers we have and in their future retirement, we need to retain as much as we can, because we understand that other states are trying to grab all of our teachers and pay them higher. So we're doing whatever we can to make it better. The budgets, it all goes by the budget. As we can increase our economic engines with our businesses and everything, it always makes it easier to go ahead and say, you know, we got the money to do different things, especially for the retired teachers. So being on the, putting the budget together this year, there was a lot of controversy, you know, on where all the extra money went and everything else. But I think our delegation from our area did a heck of a job for Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. For per capita, we brought home more money than any other district in the state. So we really worked hard and got things done. The next thing is one of the things that's important to me is our children. And when I heard about little Ezekiel, 2 years old, getting killed and put in a garbage can, it really hit me, because with 12 grandchildren, you know, how can this happen? So what I did last year, and actually the year before, right after it happened, I called for our Department of Children, all the children's services and all the law enforcement agencies to come together and have a meeting and let's see what went wrong. And the thing is what I found out is they had never met before. So when I was doing the investigation and learning that law enforcement was saying, well, I got this problem, and child services was saying I have this problem, we found out that if we can just get them to meet and talk about it, we can solve problems, because we did in those 4 meetings I held. So my law for Ezekiel's law, I got it passed. It was unanimous in the Senate, unanimous voting yes in the House, and the governor signed it, and it is now a law that the law enforcement agencies and child services have to meet 4 times a year, so we can try to solve those problems. So what I did over the years is my slogan when I ran was Big Mike Cares. So I have constitutions at the table if you didn't get one, and on the back it's got my little sticker, Big Mike Cares, because I do really care. That's why I'm here, and I want to see our district grow and everybody be successful. Thank y'all very much.
My name's Robert Allen. I am running for State Senate District 21. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about things I want to accomplish, and a little bit about why I'm running. First thing, I grew up on the sugarcane farm. I worked on the farm my whole life, graduated from LSU with a degree in agriculture business. I moved back home, worked on the sugarcane farm, and a few years ago I diversified, founded Integrity Marine. It's a portable workboat, portable dredge company that I started from scratch. I built my first vessel myself, so I'm not afraid of hard work. I've worked hard my whole life, and I'm looking to do the same for you. For the past 15 years, I've been a commercial alligator hunter. I've yet to find a way to make money doing that. I do it because I love it. I love the outdoors. I'm a big hunter, big fisherman, and a big conservationist. The things that are important to me that I'd like to get accomplished in the Senate, and some real reforms I think we can relieve some pressure, is insurance reform, education reform, tort reform, and tax reform. I think these are the items that are hurting us and our families the most. And on top of that, I understand, and Senator Fessy alluded to it, was what is required, what would be expected to bring home to fund our projects, our infrastructure. And look, our infrastructure does look a little different. Roads and bridges are important, but our infrastructure needs go much further than that with the amount and proximity of water we have. We need backwater flood control structures, locks, dams, levees, pumps. It's all important. And it's not just a bayou issue or a Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Mary, Assumption issue. It's a regional issue. So I understand what will be expected of me to bring home in order to fund these things. My motivation for running was watching my two sisters get educated here and leave the state for better opportunities. I'll never fault someone for wanting to better their opportunities. I just believe those opportunities belong here in Louisiana, especially with the amount of resources we have here. So I've got two young girls at home, and that's my biggest motivating factor, is not wanting to see them have to make the same decisions my sisters had to make. And I want to make investments in education and make sure the teachers are taken care of to where that next generation is being brought up with a quality education, and supporting our educators who have retired. And I'll leave you with this. I was having lunch with three of my aunts a couple of weeks ago and telling them about that they're retired teachers and on this retirement system. And they well reminded me that you need to not only go and say the right things over there, but deliver on your promises. Because if you don't, they've still got our yardsticks that they used to teach with. So you have my word to support you, and it's an honor to be here, and thank you.
First things first, my wife said, you know, this is retired teachers, so please do your best to pronounce your words properly and speak clearly. So I'll try to do that. First of all, I want to thank you for hosting us today. Thank you all for your service to the public school system over your careers. Give you a brief intro, bio of myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Patterson, Louisiana. I graduated from Patterson High School, went on to LSU and received a degree in business administration, or should I say I earned a degree in business administration. Came back home and worked with my father in land development and real estate. And then I went to work for St. Mary Parish government in 1990. But first I want to back up. I'm a husband, father, and grandfather. Been married to my wonderful wife, the former Margaret Dragner of Morgan City, who is here with me today, for 41 years. We have 3 grown children. We have 4 granddaughters and a 5th granddaughter expecting in January. So we're excited to have our 5-pack. Anyway, I went to work for St. Mary Parish government. And in 1996, I was appointed by the then parish president as the chief administrative officer of St. Mary Parish government. And I've served in that capacity for 27 years. And I was humbled to be reappointed and serve under 5 different parish presidents and served under many parish councils. So I'm also a licensed real estate broker, a commissioned notary public, and small business owner. My daughter has taught in the public school system for 8.5 years and is now a guidance counselor in the public school in Cameron Parish. She's served in that capacity for the past 6.5 years. All of my school-age granddaughters attend public school, and we're very happy and satisfied with their environment and their learning and how they're thriving due to the good teachers and faculty at those public schools. We hear a lot about teacher pay, but I also want to focus on the resources and respect that is lacking for the teaching professional overall. Until we let the teachers get back to teaching, not bombard the teachers with policy change after policy change after policy change, then we'll have trouble improving. Every student is different, and we can't keep sending cookie cutter tests down and concentrate on the testing in our public school. Now, I want to touch, we received a survey from the Louisiana Retired Teachers Association, your association, so I want to briefly touch on some of the topics. The COLA adjustment. I know it was a long time coming, but thanks to your association and the legislature, they put in the permanent benefit increase for you, and that's fantastic, and I'm committed to continue to supporting that for the retired teachers who have served their time and put in their efforts and contributed to their retirement system. Next is there's talk about changing the defined benefit to a hybrid system. As Chief Administrative Officer, I'm also in a retirement system, the parochial employer's retirement system. And, we personally put money into those benefits. And that's one of the ways we were committed to our profession and our career, because, the salaries were not necessarily there, but this was something that we were investing in. Starting to tweak these systems in the end of someone's career is unfair, and I would not support that. It would also be actuarially unsound practice to try to do that. I know your unfunded accrued liability and initial unfunded accrued liability is currently, there's a plan in place, and it's on track. Sir? 30 seconds. Thank you. All right, so I got to move on to teachers' pay, and just let you know that I do support teachers' pay. I support the increase in teachers' pay, and as you can see, my daughter is a teacher. If there's any constitutional convention, I would oppose changing anything, any dedications for education for teachers and for schools. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. As he said, my name is Stephen Schweiber. I'm the third candidate in Senate District 21, and I just want to start off by saying I am the child of a public school teacher. My mother taught calculus, algebra, and other maths in the Berwick High School system on and off for about 23 years at least, and I think before that she was in the private school system. So as the son of a public school teacher, the thing that was different about me growing up than a lot of kids now that grow up is that if I got in trouble at school, I did something wrong. Okay, now there's a lot of kids, if they get in trouble at school, it must be the teacher that did something wrong. Not the case when you are the son of a public school teacher. That does not fly. So that's why I was always a little bit of a teacher's pet, and my teachers were kind enough to vote me St. Mary Parish Student of the Year back when I was a senior in high school in 2011, which was still some time ago. Some people think I must be 22 years old, but no, I'm actually 30. And I do feel like I'm ready to take the next step in my public service by running for state senate. And a lot of what motivated me to run, I'm also a business person. I run my family's offshore construction company in Morgan City, Louisiana. I went to Tulane prior to that. I got my degree in political economy with a focus in law, politics, and education. At that time, I was able to do a lot of research with the Education Research Alliance, which is a wonderful group out there in New Orleans, as well as the Cowan Institute. They study a lot of things that make a difference in public education. So education policy has really always been a passion of mine. I've always wanted to see what we could do to incentivize more people to come into the teaching profession, what we could do to really improve our public school system. And I want to invest in those systems, but we do spend as much on the whole system as our neighboring states, but we don't seem to get the same results. And I do believe that has to do a lot with our leadership and a lot of the ways that our state's leadership fails to get that money down to the classroom where it does the most good. One of the things I was watching during this year's legislative session was that the House put forward a budget that put $1.8 billion into the unfunded liabilities for our teachers. Now, interest rates are skyrocketing. I don't have to tell anybody who's got any sort of loans off there or a savings account that interest rates have tripled over the last 2 years. So all the unfunded liabilities are going to start to weigh down our school districts and get in the way of future teacher pay raises. That's why the House made the decision to put $1.8 billion into the unfunded liabilities. However, when it got to the Senate side, senators like the senator who currently holds the spot I'm running for, Senator Allan, cut that down to, I think it took, by the end of it, it was $380 million. So they took out well over $1 billion for our teachers from this year's budget, and it didn't get nearly the publicity that it deserved. They sent $480 million to the governor, but knowing darn well that he was going to cut another $100 million with the stroke of his pen for our teachers and for their future pay raises. So getting into those issues, I think we should have spent that money more responsibly, but that's politics. That's an election year. They wanted to spend it all on pork barrel spending, and they wanted to act like teenagers in the mall with a credit card, no limit. And that's exactly what they did at the expense of our public school teachers across the state. As a state senator, I want to run and make sure that that kind of fiscal irresponsibility does not reoccur. And that's why, Senator Fazy, you were not part of the problem there. You were part of the solution. I want to shout you out and thank you. He was somebody who was on the good side and the side of teachers. Do not want to make it think that he was part of the problem there, but other senators absolutely were. And then I also want to work closely with the teachers that are in the system now. I have our good friends at APEL. I don't know, was anybody here APEL members during their time teaching? We have some ideas we're hatching to really, I want to get the starting salaries of teachers way up from where they are now. Arkansas just passed a bill that empowers teachers to teach in their classrooms and also gets their pay up to the highest in the South. And if we do not get up there with them, we're going to be facing, all of our teachers are going to want to live in Arkansas, Texas, Alabama, where the pay is substantially higher. So if we don't get those issues fixed now, we're not going to be able to recruit tomorrow's teachers. And so I want to make sure that we work together with parents, with students, and empower those teachers and make sure that their pay is in line with the absolutely critical public service that our teachers provide. So I thank you all today. I arrived a little late this morning, so I didn't get to meet a lot of you, but I'm going to be around after. Please contact me anytime with any questions. Thank you.
I'm Jessica Domang. I currently have the pleasure of serving as Terrebonne Parish Councilwoman for District 5, and I am running for House Representative District 53. I am the wife of Chris Domang, who's here with me today, and the mother of Adelaide and Liliana. They are why I'm doing this. I am running for House District 53 because I don't want to see another child move out of Terrebonne Parish after they graduate because there's no opportunity here for them. I am running for House District 53 because I don't want to see a single family move out of Terrebonne Parish because they can't afford insurance. I'm running for District 53 because I don't want to see a single person harmed or killed because our highways are so absolutely terrible. We've got so many things that we need to work on, and I'm absolutely the right person for this position. I currently work as a licensed clinical social worker. I work at Stark Community Health Center. I have a bachelor's degree from Nicholls State University, and I have a master's degree in social work from LSU. I know Mike Feasey, Senator Feasey had talked about Ezekiel's Law, and we worked together on a lot of those things whenever that unfortunate incident happened. But working in the trauma field, and I have a specialization in trauma, I do see the impact that trauma and PTSD have on our children. You guys see it in the classrooms, or you did see it in the classrooms, and you saw it as behavior disorders, you saw it as learning disorders. The number of ADHD cases that we're seeing in the clinics right now has skyrocketed from COVID and from the hurricane and from all the trauma that we have experienced. And so I applaud you, Senator Feasey. That was a wonderful step. We need to continue that momentum. When I get to Baton Rouge, I hope that we can work together to continue to not only work on Ezekiel's Law, but we also have to fix DCFS because we know that that agency is not providing the services they should because they're so overworked and they're so underfunded. But I know you guys are here to hear about my how I feel about teachers and how I feel about your retirement and things like that. Luckily, my husband is here with me today, and he actually works on a lot of you guys' retirement plans, and so we're able to work together on a lot of these things. The first thing that we need to look at is the WEP and the GPO. This is absolutely unfair to teachers to be forced to pay into this. And while it's a federal decision, I will advocate for you. I will go to Baton Rouge, I will go to Washington, D.C., I will sit with our senators, I will sit with our congressmen, and I will advocate for the teachers in this area to make sure that you don't have to pay into this. The TRSL, we should not do anything to harm the solvency of this. I think that teachers are doing a very good job and that we need to stay where we are. The COLA. We have got to find funds to give teachers the regular cost of living adjustments. It's not fair that you guys continue to have to live on the same wages without having that increase. We absolutely need to continue to increase the COLA, and I will fight for you every step of the way. And teacher benefits should always be tax exempt. We should not have to make you guys pay when you've already paid into the system. You worked your entire lives for children and for families in our area, and so you don't need to pay anymore. So I will fight for you. I will also fight for pay increases because teachers are the backbone of our society, and I will make sure that we're going to continue to fight for you guys in Baton Rouge, on the national level, wherever it is that we need to be. So please support me, Jessica Domang. I'm running for state representative, and I look forward to working for each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for having us here and having, this candidates forum for the parish president, the Senate, and House District 53. My name is Guidry. I'm a lifelong resident of Schweiber, Louisiana. I am a product of public schools. My wife, my kids, my grandkids, we all attend public schools. We kind of live down these byes, so we really don't have the opportunity to go to any other schools but public education, and it serves me and my family well. I'm an Air Force veteran. I served 6 years in the military. I've traveled all over the world and the country, and people say, we want to move out, we want to go to other places, but let me tell you, the best place to live in this whole country, in this whole world, is Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. And it's really a fact. I've lived in overseas countries where it's not where you want to be. We have freedoms and we have rights as American citizens. But I'm a business owner. I've been in business for 40 years. Me and my wife own Pizza Express, Gator Many Storages. We started from scratch with hardly a nickel in the bank, and we've succeeded very well in this environment. But most of all, thanks for the people that supported us in our businesses. But education is the main thing for everything. I mean, it solves problems for everything, and we need to keep our kids educated as best as we can. Unfortunately, I come from Chauvin, where we don't even have a public school anymore. I'm hoping Miss Maybell and everybody else could do something, at least by fixing up a Little Kaya school up and getting us another school. I've been to Little Kaya school where it's not there anymore. I've been to LaCache school where they just closed it for the last time. And it hurts for a community as big as Chauvin, because we are the biggest bayou in the whole parish not to have a school, and all our young kids in elementary school now have to go to Houma, Louisiana to get educated. And I know it's not the fault of any of our teachers. It's the fault of Hurricane Ida, which she's done to us. But about education, I feel that you guys, we need a constitutional convention in Baton Rouge. But anything before, the only thing that the legislature could cut was hospitals and education. And I swear to you, and I promise you, that whenever I get to Baton Rouge, the Teachers Association will be protected by Guidry. Because, like I said, I'm going to go back, you guys are the backbone of Terrebonne Parish, of our kids. One thing I'd like to see done is, there's a lot of kids that when they get to the 9th, 10th, 11th grade, we know if these kids are college material. And I'd like to see about the 9th grade if we know that they're not going to college, we need to have more technical schools in this parish. And it's not just a little bitty fly-by-night technical schools. We need to team up with GM, we need to team up with Ford, and we need to team up where we could have great trade schools where we could teach these kids a trade. Because if they can have a great life and go to work and make a living, it all helps down the line. It might take a few years for it to come to fruition, but we need to educate these kids, because when they have a job and they go to work and they have families, their young kids see that this is what you're supposed to do and it's the right thing in life, is to go to work and support your family. Not sit on the curb, not do drugs, but go to work and be a responsible citizen for this community. I've seen where the state of South Dakota, where they've done all this with trade schools, and it's something we need to do, but once we get these kids into trade schools, and I'm talking great trade schools, where when they get to the 11th, 12th grade, let's see if some of these companies can have them as apprenticeships, where they can go out and see what they've been learning in the classrooms and learn what it is to be out into the real world. And look, they can make a couple of dollars and they see it works, and when they graduate from college, from trade school, and they go out and into this apprenticeship deal, we need to make sure that we can, like South Dakota gives them 2 years, no state taxes. But we need to educate our kids as best as we can, and like I said, I hope y'all can see that I really love Terrebonne Parish. I really love the kids I represent, and I really love everyone. But go out and vote for Dirk Guidry, House District 53, because we need to really educate our kids, and really remember that when I go to Baton Rouge, I will back the Teachers Associations up. Thank you all.